Hello, my name is Madeline Royal, and today is lockdown day for my home eggs of my American Bresse flock, about 30 some eggs, and the Chantecler eggs that were shipped from Mike Dixon in New Hampshire, about 30 plus eggs. I haven't candled them yet. I'm just now doing my preparation for lockdown, which means preparing them for hatch. So because some of these were home eggs and some of these were shipped eggs, and based on the status of the air cells that I found when I candled those eggs, I'm going to be hatching them in an upright position, which means some special accommodation for my hatcher here, which I can do 4 different layers of hatching, and I can do that hatching pretty much however I need to. So this black tray here is designed to slide into the bottom, and you can see I have 3 egg carton bottoms set over a bed of paper towels to catch the mess. But those egg carton bottoms, those are going to hold the eggs upright for hatching, and they're going to hatch pretty okay if they can, based on vigor and all that stuff, from that position. So the shipped eggs are getting special treatment. My home eggs are going into this metal tray that fits the hatcher with these hatching time plastic trays for organization. That's all they need. Good airflow, good humidity, they'll be all right. They came from home, so there's less variables. Now for the shipped eggs, they were subject to additional variables. And in this case, it was because the air sac is wiggly and jiggly. And if I turn those eggs on their side, it's gonna reduce my hatch rate. And because these are all the way from New Hampshire to get to our little southwest corner of Ohio, I want as many to hatch as possible. So I'm accommodating for that by hatching them upright with these cartons. And then we'll see what we get here in 2.5 days or so. So the first thing I'm going to do is straighten out the turner so I can pull them out level. There's a little switch on the side for a manual mode to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to candle those eggs. And my candling station is right here in between my incubators. And I use a plug-in style candler. Well, that one. And it has a little rubber tip on the end to really seal against the egg. Oh look, a bonus spider. I get a lot of bonus spiders in my hatch room. I don't often get bit. There it is. I'll just shake that off. Anyways, this empty tray here takes the dud eggs. The active tray that I'm candling goes in the front. If they're good, I move them to their hatching location. And if they're a dud, I put them in that empty tray right there, and I dispose of them after that. With how hot our temperatures are, I don't leave those eggs outside. I move them right to trash disposal, double packed in garbage bags, because if they break and they stink and it's in this heat, oh my goodness, it's bad. So if you have any death and decay going on when it's hot, do your trash man a service and double bag it so he doesn't have to realize how stinky that stuff can get. Anyways, I'm set up. I'm ready to go. So let me go ahead and level off the turner, get it opened up, and I'll keep you posted as I go through this process and the reasons why I'm going through it and the reasons why I'm working so hard in this heat, because it's terrible, but it's worth it. I will be including a screenshot of my Govee temperature and hydrometer sensor that I have inside each of these units. They're like my backup, just in case, let me know what's going on sensors. And I hope it loads in such a way that you can see what it does, but it gives me historical data on how the incubators performed anytime that I have questions. Because your dips, swings, and sways based off your ambient conditions will have an impact on how your machines operate within those conditions. And they're going to vary by region, by elevation, by their insulative properties, and then they're going to further vary based on the climate you put them into. So hopefully that screenshot after this shows you what this hatcher is doing, so you can see the levels of parameters I'm operating within. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. It depends. It's variable. It is not particular all across the board. It varies tremendously. And you have to learn your equipment, you have to learn your ambient conditions, you need to refine and hone your skills. And that is best done with your eggs from home before you go into eggs from elsewhere. Those are a little more advanced, and they have a little more catering that might be necessary, which is why I have two different hatching situations, because my eggs, even though they were incubated in the same environment, well, we'll find out how they respond based on symptoms, based on needs off of those symptoms. It's subjective and it depends. There is no blanket policy for shipped eggs. Just do your best. Alright, so I'm about a dozen eggs into the shipped eggs, and I went ahead and I skimmed across the rest of them. Everyone looks like they're ready to go, except for one dud back there that I moved to the dud tray. But if you see this egg, you can see that air cell up top is large and ample, and I want to keep it that way. So I'm keeping them in an upright position. And see that little point right there? That's a little beak getting ready to go. Operation Hatch is underway for the next 2.5 days. Now the ones I moved over for hatching, I added them into my trays. Hopefully that side goes over there, this side goes over here, and so on and so forth throughout the process. This one I got a little lazy about. I don't have to reach quite as far for that one. But pretty much I'm going to go through the whole process with the whole tray, get everybody moved, and then do my own eggs into these baskets because their air cells are not messed up. So I can go ahead and lay them on their side and it'll be okay. Now if your air cells can wiggle and move and change, you probably want to hatch them up right. And with that in mind, of the variables of shipped eggs, I would highly recommend you do not use an incubator that has to have the eggs on their side for hatching. There might be special accommodations needed. You might have to get a better incubator to make sure that you can do that. But it depends on how they arrive, which depends on shipment, which depends on packing and the transit route, which varies all over the country. Just some stuff to keep in mind. If you're going to do shipped eggs, be prepared to do something special for them if it's needed. Alright, I'm going to finish this batch and then get through my batch. Alright, I had to pull one of my eggs too. So there's two back there in the dud tray. The rest of these candled okay. I'm going to move them over. But I want you to look at how big that air cell is. I don't know if you caught that little bit of movement, but there was movement. And the rest of the eggs look like that as well. And so did the shipped eggs. The saddled air sacs were not as predominant as they were 2 weeks ago, but I'm still going to treat them special and give them the best chance. Now, these eggs, I candle them and I lay them with the bigger part of the air cell faced upwards when I lay them on their side. So what I do is I candle to find where the biggest air gap is, and that's how I place them with that side up when I move them to their side from the upright position that these setting trays naturally do. Alright, moving on. We're all set up and ready to go. The shipped eggs are here on the bottom. My home eggs are here in the middle. I have an extra pan of water there, plus the water pan it comes with, because I would rather use an extra pan to bump up my humidity based on surface area of water, rather than use the disposable sponges that can be added to these units, because your humidity is based off of surface area. So if you want to go a sustainable route, use an extra surface area of water rather than a disposable sponge. Just a little tidbit I've learned over time. Alright, back to work. These will get 2.5 days to go through the motions of hatching, and we'll see what comes out of this incubator. For now, I'm going to shut the door and leave them alone. Everything's topped off, everything's organized, everything's ready to go. We lost 1 egg each. That one from me, that one from Mark. So that gives us a total of three eggs lost from Mark due to shipping and whatever else, and 4 eggs lost from my end. All in all, I anticipate this to be a pretty decent hatch, but we're not through it yet, so I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. So, more on this later, probably Monday. Feel free to like and subscribe as I take you through the dual-purpose sustainable poultry journey, because there's a lot of variables involved in it. So, we'll cover that in time. Hopefully you're caught up, and if not, dive in, figure it out, and do your best.